Greetings. So in this video, we're going to go through the steps of the helmet's MRE or the AltspaceVR MRE code so that you can know how to work through the steps for attaching objects on the avatar wherever you want them to go. The first thing that I want to point out before I get started is that Luminosity has created a interface that allows you to quickly and easily position things on the avatar so that you can get the coordinates and then use those coordinates in your MRE code. And I will make a tutorial showing how to use that tool at some point in the future. And also, Artsy has informed me that she has an approach for doing this, and she's going to share her approach also. I think she does hers in Blender. So she finds her transform positions in Blender. But for now, today I want to share the way that I do it. Now, this is not the only way, and for certain it's not the best way, but it is a way that anyone can use. So on the right hand side, I have the Helmets MRE GitHub page. And on the left hand side, I just have a notepad. I'm just going to use this notepad to build up the code to use in our content pack. So first thing I'm going to do is start off with just the full code. And let me explain some of this code to you a little bit. So first of all, your resource ID or artifact ID. This is where you're going to actually put the artifact ID for the hoodie. So this is the hoodie that I'm going to be using in this example. You see I uploaded it a couple of minutes ago. So I'll go ahead and copy this to the clipboard, and I'm going to start off by replacing this artifact ID. Now it's really important that you only replace the numbers, okay? The colon that's on the left hand side and the ending double quote that's on the right hand side must stay intact. If you interfere with anything other than the artifact ID number, you'll break the MRE. So I like to delete the number first so that I see it's gone and I see that I have my characters that are required still intact, and then I paste in the number. Okay, and so now we have our artifact ID in. The next thing we have to do is set the transform options. And this is the really important point, because we have to determine, the first thing that we have to determine is where we want to attach this at on the avatar. So since this is a hoodie, okay, and the way it works is that it is going to attach the center of your object with the center of your attach point. So let's look at our attach points by clicking this link right here. We can go to attach points, and here go all of our attach points. Where do you think we want to attach this at? So I'll start with spine middle. I like spine middle. Spine middle is already set. I just noticed that spine middle is already set. But if this was going to be for a hand, then you would select like either, where is it at? Here's left hand. Here's right hand. Where's right hand? Here's right hand, and so forth and so on. Those are all the attach points. So remember, it's middle to middle. So we've got, so right now we've got the position. I like to set everything at 0. Now mind you, what you have to use as the attach points will be determined partially by what you have your transform options set in your Unity before you uploaded these. I like to set an object at all zeros. So 0, 0, 0, 0. And then I set the scale to 1, okay? And so if you start with this as a starting point, then it'll be easy to adjust accordingly. So I'm going to change everything to 0 and 1. but I'm going to set everything to 0 and 1. So XYZ 0, position is like if you want it up, down, forward, back, side to side. Rotation is like rotating. So for example, with my phone, rotating, right? So position would be how close you want it, how far back you want it, to the left, to the right, that type of thing. But rotation is how it rotates in that space. Okay, so like if you have it right here, rotate like this, rotate like that, rotate like this, rotate like that. So you've got position, rotation, and scale. Scale is how big it is. Okay, so we're going to set zeros for position. That way it's dead smack in the middle of spine middle. Zeros for rotation. So it should look like this. It should be on this position right here. It should be straight up and down. And then the scale, just at a size of 1. So we're going to take this code. We're going to come into our content pack. Now you have to make sure. So first of all, if you look at my code, you see I've got, when I copied it from GitHub, they gave me the beginning and terminating curly brackets. And when you start off inside of a content pack, it starts off with them. If I was to just paste this in here, see how it breaks? You get this? And it's because we've still got this open and close starting curly bracket in there. Another thing, if you put this in here and put it in there, it's going to break because now you've got double opens and double closes. So what you'll want to do is either clean up the code that you're going to bring in or replace, like in this case, I'm just going to replace what's in there and put mine in there. Okay? And you see we have no errors at this point. If you wanted to add another one, then you would have to start from right here. And you would put a comma, and you could take from the open quotes all the way to right here. Drop down and do it again, but you would have to change the name of it. And you see it goes away. So when you, but the important thing to keep in mind is that the last one has to not have a comma. So you can make as many as you want as long as you separate each one by a comma. Okay, so I'll go ahead and get rid of that. Alright, so now we've got our content pack code ready. I'll go ahead and hit create content pack. Now we're going to go through what will be seen as very tedious steps. And it's going to be a combination of using my desktop and my headset. Alright, so right now we are inside of one of my test worlds. And you see I've got this mirror right here, right? Alright, so watch this. First of all, I have to get, okay, first of all, let's build our MRE URL. So we're going to be using this. You got to take everything from the W all the way to the equal sign. I'll pop it over here in this notepad. And then we get our content pack ID. So I'll copy this content pack ID, put it in there. Now keep in mind that you can pass additional options. For example, you can pass in, where are they at? Like controls. Okay, here we go. Like controls equal none. Like if you can choose which controls you want. Like if I choose controls equal min, what you would have to do is first of all, you keep that. You would have to separate them with the ampersand. So if I wanted to put controls equal min, that's going to put the X on there, but it's not going to have the plus and minus sign and the arrows and all of that. And so, but we have to conjoin these together. So we do that with an ampersand. And so when we put that ampersand in, it allows for a content pack and controls equal min. But you don't have to do that if you don't pass any controls. If you don't pass the controls, it's going to have X, it's going to look like this. Let me see. If you, like right here, it's going to have that X arrows, plus and minus. So it's going to have all of that. But when you can put controls equal min or controls equal none. I like putting controls equal none, and then it won't have any controls. But anyway, so let's go ahead and put this back. Actually, and then I'm going to take this. So now we're in here, and I'm just going to put this MRE somewhere where I can get to it easily. So we'll go to the world editor. And then under basics, go to MRE, pop the pop the MRE URI in there, hit confirm. So here we go. So here is the hoodie. Alright. So now I'm just going to put it on. I can see that it needs to come down a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'll come in here. I'm going to bring down the X a little bit. So I'm going to change this position, and I know it's going to be X because it needs to come down. So I'm going to make it minus in order to make it go down. If you don't put a minus, it's going to go up. So I'm going to go minus 0.1. I'm just going to go down 0.1. All right. So now what we do is, just because I can't see. Yeah, I can't see. There we go. I can get rid of that. And then I'm just going to add it back. Get my code. There we go. So it's getting closer. All right. Take it off. So now let's come back over here. Let's make another change. Let's come down a little bit more. 5. And then, like, you can just delete that. Just come up here, pop it back in there, back away from it. Let's see how it looks. All right, let's bring it down to about, I'm gonna bring it to 0.25. But you see how we're getting closer to it. We just work our way through it. Getting closer. I'm gonna be 3.5. So, I mean, you know, this way takes a little back and forth, but you get there. There we go. It's getting, now we just want to make it a little smaller. So in order to make it smaller, let's So in order to make it smaller, let's bring it in, bring in the scale. Let's make it 0.8. And let's just see what that does. I'm going to bring it up also, because when you bring it small, it's probably going to need to come back up. So I'll change it to 2.5. Get rid of that. Pop it in there. Oh yeah. We need to make this hood a little bit smaller. Proportionately, the head isn't so big. But let me bring it in just a little bit more. And once again, like this, I just decided to make this, but this is literally like the first test on this object that we're making for you guys. This hoodie. So this is the first test in order to get this positioned right, so that when you bring it in, after you after you put your logo, change the colors, all of that sort of stuff, it'll fit right. There we go. Bring it down just a little bit more. Bring it down to 2. There we go. What you think? And see, and then when it comes to like testing with the headset, and I'll go in and then I'll, like sometimes I'll go in, like if I wanted to do something with my hand, like maybe I'll be in with the headset looking at the avatar, and I'll be looking under the headset, changing the code in the content pack. But with this one, you can see it right here. So here you go. And by the way, the hoodie's coming soon. You'll be able to put your logo on here, you know, just like the t-shirt. You know, you put your logo on here, change the color of everything, etc. And we've got a version with the hood down and a version with the hood up. So there you go. Ask any questions. I hope that helps.